Auto Obsessed here. A client here in Edmonton just took delivery of his new 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid Edition. The paint is a deep metallic blue, and according to Tesla, this was the first Plaid delivered in Alberta and is the 7th to be delivered in Canada. The owner is a repeat client of ours. He's brought other cars to us for restorative details and new car prep details. He asked us to conduct a new car preparation detail on his Model S Plaid. Wash, decontamination, paint correction polishing, and he also asked that we install Xpel Stealth matte paint protection film to change the finish of the car from gloss to matte. We finished the job with CQuartz Finest Reserve ceramic coating for a long-lasting hydrophobic protection. The car looks flawless, just like a new car should look. And in a gracious gesture of appreciation, Mike took our crew out for a test drive to experience the famous Plaid acceleration. He also did a ride-along interview with me where we talk about his honest Tesla Plaid ownership experience. This is a new kind of video for us, detailing plus ownership experience. Hope you like it. Check it out.
Wow, this is amazing.
Hi, Mike.
Troy.
So this is your big day.
This is the big day.
You've waited a long time for this. We've had it for 2 weeks. I know you're super excited. Let's take a peek.
Yeah, I've done a few car deliveries with you, and wow, this is beautiful. For this one, I kind of was here a little bit more than normal, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're excited. So you saw some of it in stages, calls, and dropping by and seeing it. But what's your first impression of the satin?
Oh, Troy, I'm blown away. This is it's a totally different color, for one. Well, you know, same color, but it just looks so different. I love it. Like the stealth, the feel of the paint. Thank you for taking the badge off. That looks amazing. First impressions, Troy. Oh, wow, that's even like blacked out as well. First, I'm stunned. I'm absolutely thrilled. This looks amazing.
You know, as you know, you dropped off the metallic blue car. You can still see the metallics through it. So even though we have this satin on here, you can all still see the metallics. It gives it a totally new look, a new fresh look. It has a nice sheen to it. The ceramic coating added just that next level of gloss. So I'll just kind of go over some of the things we did to the car. So you've done new cars with us before. So we had to do a new car prep. As you know, the car wasn't delivered exactly the way, you know, you would expect a new car, right? So we have some debris on the car. There were some blemishes. You pointed out some blemishes on the car, right? We had some paint blemishes where there was some previous wet sanding and just wasn't polished properly. Some light scuffs from it being transported. So first of all, what we did is a light decon. You put a couple 100 kilometers on it.
700.
700.
In
I know.
2 days.
It's so hard to give up a brand new car, right? You've been waiting so long, and then to give it to us. So it's got a few 100 kilometers on the car before we got it. So it did pick up a little bit of tar. It also has iron and some other contamination on the painted surfaces from delivery. So we did a full decon on the car, took off iron if there was any tar, any other residues on the paint. We did polish the car lightly and then focused on multi-stage on the areas that were more. Even though we're still covering it with satin, gloss is a little bit more particular, but we're still covering it with satin. Some of the things do still show through. Plus, when it's decided to remove this, you know, you're not going to have those imperfections there, and also it gives a good adhesion to the product. So after the new car prep, then as you know, complete car in paint protection film. So this is done in Xpel Stealth, gives us that nice matte look. It's quite consistent, so it doesn't have any, you know, higher sheen or lower sheen areas. The biggest reason, obviously, in some of your other cars with full paint protection film is to give it the protection against our environment, right? This car has a super sticky tires, so we're picking up a lot of sand and gravel, and the paint protection film is going to protect against that. Plus, this is your daily, right? You're going to drive this through our winters and summer. Here, unfortunately, we have 6-7 months sometimes of winter. Tons of calcium, salt, rocks, sand that's getting thrown on it. So now we have this whole thing, and I like to say bubble wrapped. So the whole car's bubble wrapped, then finished in CQuartz Finest Reserve, which you've had in the past. One of the best ceramic coatings out there. So your maintenance and everything is going to be quite a bit less.
Yeah, I have no problem chatting about that quickly. I've done a few new car deliveries with Auto Obsessed, that's for sure. And I know for a fact, like the rear quarter panel here, when I brought it, it's not just Tesla either. I mean, I don't know why this happens, but from the manufacturer this had some orange peel on it for sure. The orange peel effect, that is absolutely completely gone. I'm so impressed. It had some iron flecks on it just from driving around town. And I know for a fact that just driving around for 700 kilometers in 2 days, just taking friends and family on test rides, that I picked up some tar. So what you did by absolutely decontaminating that and cleaning that up for me is awesome. And now it's sealed like hermetically. It's just absolutely flawless. And now I can kind of be a little bit harsher on it. And with the CQuartz Finest Reserve, I appreciate it on all of my vehicles because of how easy it is for me to wash it off. When I get it super filthy, or if I am being a little bit negligent, it doesn't matter. I don't have to worry about bugs getting all over the hood or whatever I'm doing or going on a road trip. I can just rinse it off. It comes off just perfectly, easily, and then I can just focus on the fun part. I hit it with my Master Blaster, and then I just go to Plaid. That's what I do now, I guess. Exactly. It's so easy.
On the interior, gorgeous interior. That white interior is beautiful. But you had mentioned, concern, and I mean the first thing in my mind too is that's white. So
I've had transfer from jeans before, and I think you did something that'll help prevent that.
Exactly. So we put a sealant on the leather. So we use swissvax leather glaze. So it's a light barrier that goes on, and what that's going to do is help prevent it from staining. So it's still going to get dirty. So kind of the analogy I tell people is, a ceramic coating doesn't prevent the car from getting dirty, because people think when you put coatings on the seats, it prevents the seats from getting dirty. Well, it doesn't, right? They're still going to get dirty. So on the paint, the car's still going to get dirty, but it's just easier to wash. Same thing with the leather, right? Or in this case, it's pleather,
the
right?
coating gets dirty, not the seat.
Exactly. So it's going to be easier, to take off staining and transfer. It's not, you're still gonna have to be careful, and you're still gonna have to keep it maintained because nothing's bulletproof against that. But gorgeous, gorgeous interior. So the seats were done in that. The screen, when you brought it to us, it had the protection film on it, so it was all bubbled, and that this whole car is controlled by that screen, so you have to touch it. So we did paint protection film on the screen, and you have a lot of dry carbon on the car. So on the door, on the door panels, we have it on the console, and if you scratch that, it has to be refinished. We can't polish that scratch out on dry carbon. So those areas have been also done in Stealth to give it that same, and the spoiler too, yep, to give it that dry carbon look and not alter it to a gloss. Gives it that dry carbon look, but puts a protection on it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Troy. Thanks so much. Yeah, no, the seats are super important. In 2 days, I actually spent, I think, about 9 hours. My wife was almost getting ready to phone local hospitals because I was playing Skyforce Reloaded, and I'm waiting for The Witcher 3 too. So I sit in it a lot. I sit in the back. I'm gaming. It's like the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. How enjoyable it is. The speakers, like it's. Oh man, we're probably not going to get into gaming today, but it's really fun.
We also. Because you put some kilometers on it first, we also put it on our Tesla charger, so she's fully topped up, so she's ready to go. And you promised me you'd go over some technical bits on this car.
Technical bits, yeah. Yeah, she's got a few party tricks for sure, but I guess we should probably go to Plaid then, huh?
Plaid. Not sure what that is, but I don't know if I should be excited or scared. I know this thing's a missile, so
Probably both of those things. Okay. But you know, you've had a lot of racing experience. I've had quite a lot of racing experience as well. I've driven, I think I just completed my 6th Masters with Porsche. Did 5 years of Masters with BMW, but we're not going to do anything dangerous on public roads today. But we will approach the speed limit with vigor today.
Okay, sounds good. Excellent. Well, let's do it.
So, Troy, you are in the 2021 Model S Plaid. What do you think?
This is pretty wild.
It's so quiet. I love how quiet it is.
It's super quiet. You were saying too, it's what, when you picked this one up a couple weeks ago, it was number 2 in Canada?
Yeah, in Canada, I think it was number 7. Number 1 in Alberta. I was told at the dealership I was the first, and they were excited too. But you know what I told them? I said, don't touch it. It's going to Auto Obsessed. That was what I told them. So, and I don't know. Dealerships, I think they hire, like, I don't want to say anything bad, but yeah, you know what? Screw it. It's a Tesla store, so I can say whatever I want. But Porsche was the same way. BMW was the same way. I feel like they hire just, I don't know, kids, and they put an orbital on. They usually buff in some scratches. Like, I don't know, is that a real thing, or is that just in my head?
Yeah, to a point. I mean, to be realistic and not, you know, not bash any shops, at the end of the day, it's about delivery time, right? And they're only given a certain amount of time. They might only be given 2 to 3 hours to go inside, outside, upside down the car, which isn't enough time if you want the car to be delivered as a brand new car. So, you know, I think they do a very good job for the time that they're allotted. And that's why there's so much difference between what you get from, you know, a new car, and we're not going to talk brands or anything, versus taking it to a reputable detail shop that's going to put that time and attention in it. And the way I feel is, right now, you saw the car in the clean room. To me, this is the way a new car is supposed to be delivered, right?
I agree.
For the masses, it might not be important to them. They just want the new car, and it's fine the way it is. But for the auto obsessed, for our type of clientele, for yourself, Mike, you spent a lot of money. You want that car to be perfect. You want it to be brand new, just like you opened up a brand new phone.
And then I want that feeling all the time too. Like, if I, like 6 weeks from now, I can get into it and it's still a new car.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
when I got my car from Porsche, I didn't feel that way. Everything's rushed. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I really appreciate what you do. I really do.
We appreciate your business, and this is we don't get I don't get the opportunity often to do the drive, and it's kind of ironic actually, because one of the first car videos the first car video I did delivering a car was your other car. The other blue car. The 100-year-old Ford. Which is hilarious when you think about it. So Mike has two 1928 Model A Fords. And we're talking pretty much one of the slowest cars on the planet. And listen, now we're in the Plaid.
The Plaid. You're making me sound like some rich... No. I'm really not. Like, I have a passion for cars. I was on the way to Porsche driver training in Ontario, my 5th or 6th Masters there, and a friend of mine, Spencer, sent me a link to a Ford Model A out of nowhere. We've never talked about Ford Model A's ever, and it was beautiful, and I felt extremely undervalued. It was 13 grand. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, I took delivery of that car, dropped it off at Auto Obsessed. Well, when I dropped that thing off, there was extreme paint damage. The black fenders were almost like a gray with just the amount of scratches on them. It was just horrible. You brought it back to life for not a lot of money. The car is insane. It looks so good right now. It looks absolutely mint condition now because of all the stuff that you've done. And then this is just like, this is like the Matrix. This is the ultimate daily driver. Like, at any moment, it's a track weapon at the flick of my foot. Like, at any moment, we could just, oh jeez, like, instantaneously just crazy. Hurt somebody, which is,
yeah, you can't breathe. Okay, that's wild. Yeah,
it's absolutely insane, and it's miles per hour. Like, you've had a bad day at the office, you got open road, there's nobody around, it's just take an on-ramp at ludicrous speed, or Plaid speed. You were mentioning you didn't know what Plaid was, so
yeah,
that's Plaid.
What is Plaid?
What is Plaid? Well, you'll have to show the clip, but it's from Spaceballs. Elon Musk and Tesla. He got a lot of his stuff from Spaceballs. So the flamethrower, or not a flamethrower, is from Spaceballs,
okay.
from the gift shop there. And then going to Plaid is when they're, I think it goes hyperspeed, ludicrous, and there's only one thing faster than ludicrous, and that's Plaid.
That's Plaid, okay.
And the Plaid powertrain came out, I think a year and a half ago is when it was announced, or maybe 2 years ago. But it has 3 motors. So that's 2 in the back, about the size of watermelons. They're pretty big. And a pretty decent sized one in the front too. Tesla's website says it gets 1,020 horsepower. And I don't know if they rate the torque, but I know it's over 1,000. I think it's over 1,000.
And you mentioned too, and when we were working on it, there's no air vents. There's no your traditional on the dash vents. There's no buttons. There's no levers. There's nothing.
There are air vents, but they're just recessed and hidden.
Like slots.
And there's 2 intersecting paths of airflow. And by touching here, I can grab that part of the airflow, and you can too, and move it wherever we want. I prefer like a diffused kind of just around me, cooling the car, not myself. Other people point it right at their face.
Right.
You can do all of that. It's better than a vent by far. I can literally have it pointing right on my nose, just off to my ear. It is so precise and so direct. I love it so much. My Panamera had that too, a little bit, just on the center console, but vents suck. You know, you sell those brushes where you're constantly cleaning the vents.
That was the first thing came to my mind, is cleaning the vents.
Forget about it. Don't touch the vents. Have no vents. What do you need vents for?
Yeah.
Vents are plastic. I mean, on some of the Mercedes, you get those really nice, like knurled metal.
Aluminum,
Like, my goodness, like, I love the touch of that. Like, you get that kind of nice, cold aluminum feel. But it's not, like, I don't care that I'm not going to buy a car because of the vent. I prefer not to clean a vent. Thanks so much. So for my money, I love this. I love how simple it looks. I love how there's nothing in the cabin. There's no distraction. And I think, if I was to say something else, I think it makes the car faster. When there's literally nothing but, I guess, a yoke and the road, the car to me feels more violent and faster. Like, I don't know, what do you think?
Oh, jeez.
Like,
you can't get used to that. Holy smokes.
And that was only 60% throttle. But
Holy smokes.
There's nothing. There's no distraction. It is just pure driving. And people say, oh, you know, these cars have no soul. Are you kidding me? Like,
that's pretty cool. I mean, your first reaction, like, I know for me, I'm definitely gasoline, horsepower, right? Well, I mean, this is horsepower too, but different type. You know, you go, oh, it's might be kind of boring, but the tech in this car, it's actually extremely quiet as well. So road noise, it's extremely quiet, and even for those people that don't know what Alberta roads are like, they're actually horrible. And we're not, you know, we're bouncing around a little bit here, but it's actually driving very, very smooth and very, very silent. It's comfortable. It is nice.
Yeah, I would love talking about that. I'm a huge horsepower guy too. I race with Porsche, like my 6 Masters. I've done BMW schools, Lotus schools, open wheel stuff with Radical. That definitely gets out of my system. But I gotta tell you, the torque vectoring in this car, when I'm cornering hard and doing aggressive maneuvering, I've never felt torque vectoring like that in a Porsche or a Lamborghini or any other Ferraris, cars that I've driven. This car can move power around faster than anything I've ever driven. So, like, you want to talk about soul, like the moment of inertia, which I sound like a physicist, but the weight is so low and behind and in front of, so it's behind and in front of the tires, that when you are really chucking it around and you're moving weight around, it reacts to that quicker. The suspension is able to gather up all of that momentum quicker, meaning I can apply more steering angle. I can get what I need to be done faster because I don't have that sloshing effect of like water in a bucket. Like, if you think about that, that's what you're dealing with when you're accelerating quickly. You're spilling water out of the bucket, and when you're spilling water out of the bucket, that means you're losing stuff. You're oversteer, understeer. Because the moment of inertia of this car is so low, I feel like it's it's the Matrix. You're playing by different rules, and that's why, going back to the spirit of a car, that's why I think they're like 20 to 25 seconds faster on the Nürburgring, which everyone talks about, which I think is a little bit ridiculous, but they're beating amateurs, are beating lap time records, showing up with a helmet. They just pull up at a helmet on and just going doo-doo-doo. And it's like, what? Like, this is, I don't know. This is a hardcore smackdown to gasoline cars. And I know what you're going to say about the sound. I love that sound, that squeal of just the pure torque of magnets and energy. And I am totally addicted to that. And actually, with a gas car, you're always waiting for the top of a gear. This is, what the heck is he doing? This is more crazy because there is no top of the gear. That like high pitch, it just keeps going and going, and you wanna get there, but the numbers, they start hitting way high triple digits, and it's like, I can't do it. I'm gonna have to wait for whatever Daily Driven Exotics or somebody else to get up there, because this is my daily driver. I'm a dad. I got 2 kids. You know, I don't want to kill myself or kill somebody else. But man, it sounds cool.
It is interesting. I mean, with cars, for me, it's about all senses. It's about the feeling, the smell, the sound. So absolutely, my first reaction is, it's an electric car, right? But it is cool, even though it doesn't have the sound, and it doesn't have those gear changes, right? It doesn't have rev matching and all the things that the supercars have in a performance car. But
it's too slow. Those things are too slow for me. Rev matching and gearing down, double clutch down.
From the couple bursts we've done, yes, they are very slow compared to this.
I don't know. I put my foot on the brake, it automatically goes into drive. I put it, or reverse. It just knows things. It's intuitive. There's things here, going back to the spirit of a vehicle, that I start to feel in touch with this car that I can't experience in other vehicles. There's a heart and soul here that people aren't discussing, and I really think that that's, I don't know, I think that that's maybe Tesla's biggest edge. Is you end up buying a car from Tesla because of whatever, fuel economy, well, not fuel, electron economy. It's cheaper to fill up with electrons than gas. Or maybe you buy it for another reason, or whatever reason you end up buying it for, but you end up falling in love with this car that knows you. It greets me when I enter it. I play games on it with my kids, fart mode, like all the little Easter eggs that just unveil themselves progressively make you love this car. And the fact that when you buy it, you give it a name. Like, the first thing you do is you name it. Like, Eleanor pops into mind immediately. Exactly. It's just, there's things that are so endearing that no one talks about, that no one, whatever, it's a Tesla. No, I'm sorry. I've driven and owned expensive Porsches, and I don't know. I've fallen in love with this car quickly in a way that I haven't with other vehicles. I think that's interesting. Yeah. I think now's a good time to go to Plaid.
Okay.
So foot on brake.
You are going to count me down, right?
No. Foot on brake, and I'm going to just bring myself a little forward here. So foot on brake, and then just apply throttle. You'll notice the screen here. You'll see it on the other footage.
Yeah, the car's dropping.
It's going to do cheetah stance, so it's lowering the front and it's raising the rear, kind of like a cheetah getting ready to pounce. And I'm not going to give you any warning. I'm just going to kind of do it eventually whenever I feel like it. So. Oh, there we go. That's enough.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, that's a lot of speed.
Whoa, that is unbelievable.
I don't know,
You can't even almost not breathe.
There's nothing that brings a smile to your face. So what we're gonna do now?
It takes your breath away. I can't breathe. It couldn't breathe.
This is a mic test. This is something only I do. So the real difference in a car like this, I call it the squirts test. So I'm just gonna squirt on power. I'm just gonna do a slow roll, probably like 30, 40. I'm gonna squirt power on, and it's something you can't do in a gas car. So here we go. I'll just do it kind of just whenever I feel like it. Oh my god!
Oh man, it literally takes your breath away. You don't even know.
Those pulses, like wham, wham, wham. Like you can't let off like throttle in the middle of the gear. Your transmission will change. It'll be like, what are you doing? Just getting on and off power like that is freaking amazing. Like
that is crazy.
That is so cool. You can't do that in a gasoline engine. And I've never seen that on YouTube. People, well, no one drives like that, but what a cool experience. It's like owning a roller coaster. You can't, that is freaking amazing. I love it. I love it. I'm so passionate about this, and I want them to keep pushing it. When they get the Roadster, you'll be working on that too. Although, I'm only buying the Roadster if it has rockets. I told you that, right? So, Elon said it's going to have rockets.
We want rockets. We don't want just electric motors. We want rockets.
I need cold COPV, carbon overwrap pressure vessels. I need that in my life. Every kid wants rockets on their car. Give me a break. Like, and that's game over at that point. I mean, I think this is already game over. But, you know, people who are buying an expensive race car like a Bugatti, or they're spending crazy amounts of money on a Rimac or whatever they're buying, do any of those have rockets? Like, no. So it's like, oh, those are too slow. Like, mine has rockets, and it's a bargain. I think it's only a $250,000, which I know that sounds conceited, but the fastest car in the world, $250,000, like, that's attainable for human beings. I will never get or own many Lamborghinis, many Bugattis, many Rimacs. I don't know those people. I'm not in those circles. Those cars are like 20, 30 are only ever made. You're in this group, you buy it like 5 years in the past, and then you wait and wait and wait. And I will never be in that kind of super yacht club, but my car's faster than that, and I can still go get groceries, and it has a front trunk and a rear trunk, and it's way more usable, and my kids love it. Like, like, it's game over. Like, that's, why would you own like a one-trick Bugatti Chiron? Why would you even do that when you can have this?
Thank you, Mike, for the ride along and sharing your experience and perspective. Everyone here at Auto Obsessed is glad to have you as a detailing client. For you, our viewer, please write a comment below and share your perspective on internal combustion and electric vehicles and the value of a new car preparation detail. Please consider subscribing to our Auto Obsessed channel here on YouTube to see more automotive and detailing videos. And thank you for watching.